All right, welcome back to Merch Slam. This week, we're going to focus on recapping the ringside side of things, which is always the merch drops. We got some limited collectibles. We got some clearance deals as well that we'll be kind of jumping into. But also, let's talk about last night. So last night, Cody Rhodes takes out Jey Uso, so now advances to King of the Ring. Jade takes out Roxanne, now heading on to Queen of the Ring. Huge news. So as we head into this weekend, we did find out more about Liv being out now officially for a few months. We'll see what Seth is cooking. Great match between Braun Breaker and Penta. And then maybe we'll see Ludwig come back. We'll see. But anyways, hopefully everybody enjoyed last night's match. But let's just jump right into it. So as we look at some of the different gear that's now available at the shop, I always like to start out with the John Cena Farewell Tour, as it's always honestly just a good thing to rep out some different cities and where you're from. And a lot of them right now, you can actually find them on sale from what I saw. So you have different codes you can apply using Pinfall. And I think some of these colorways are actually pretty neat as they play off, obviously, the different cities and the different things. But I think one of the things I liked the most was honestly the WrestleMania. It's probably a good pickup, as well as you probably are not likely going to see that for the rest of the year and or any time in the future. But then we also don't have a lot of sizes left. So I think these are always a great place to start. Just check it out, see what different cities you might be a favorite of. I'm trying to think what else that I saw. Yeah, I just think the overall farewell tours are pretty nice. But moving on, one of the other things that caught my attention was actually this autographed turnbuckle, which I think is actually pretty neat with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. I did notice that this one, not only is it out of 25, but they also had, I want to say they also had just the first one too, one of 25, and it looks like it's gone. It was actually on a bid. But there's kind of your chance to snag one if you're a big fan. And then another thing that caught my attention was you actually had a couple Funko Pops that I wouldn't mind adding to my collection. As you look at the Undertaker, he actually had this one, which I thought was just pretty sick. It was a really nice Hall of Fame touch, also on sale. But he had these two other ones as well. This one's kind of like a little throwback to 94. Also signed as well. And then you had the hooded version, which I thought was also pretty sick. So if you're into Funko Pops, I think these are definitely three to kind of look into if you're a collector. And then as we have Nikki coming back, I thought this was a nice way to jump on if you're a fan, especially with one that's already signed. I thought this was pretty neat. If you're a longtime fan, to check out. And we also had some other stuff that I found was pretty interesting too. It was just these autographed diced little mini things, mini titles, that were also autographed as well. Looks like they were about 25 there, but I thought it was a really nice touch, especially when you look at which number it placed out of to. As they have an example here. Then we jump into the other collection, which is with the Culture Kings. I thought these are just overnight. These are just nice. You got the overweight tees. You got the faded blacks. Colorway on. I think you have some pretty decent sizes left as well. You can also catch these off right now, $10 off. I think this Rey Mysterio one is just super nice. Then you have the Randy Orton one as well. Might have to actually pick this one up. But this one's really nice. I think they did a really good job with this different set. So something worth checking out. And as we know, we now have a new match with Karrion Kross as well. that we'll see with Sami Zayn. It looks like we have some new updated merch as well, which I thought was pretty sick. This was a shirt we've already kind of seen him wear, but we now have kind of a new assortment. And these probably are really nice as well, as we're dealing with that heat wave right now. Probably wear some nice little tank top. What else do we have? AJ Styles is supposed to go on with the match with Dom, as we know that that's been canceled. But I thought this would be a nice little addition to anyone's collection if you're on the figure side of things, especially with it being signed as well. But this one I thought would be a good, interesting gift or to add on to your collection for those that are out there. This was one of the belts as well that I thought would also be an interesting addition to anyone's collection who are into belts. I actually really, really liked the way they did this belt. As we know, the Money in the Case is generally just a briefcase, but the colorway that they did and that touch with Los Angeles on there and Money in the Bank, I actually think this is really nice. I don't think we really don't see a whole lot of people wearing this one as much. But this is a nice belt to add onto your collection. And it's also available with a discount with Pinfall. We also have, the $1 Million Championship belt from Ted DiBiase. This was a very nice belt. This one's also on sale. It's a nice pickup, nice replica. Not many images on there. I feel like I have seen this one in person. It's very nice, but I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a different styles of the different titles that we have out there, just to kind of change it up. And I think I have one more, and that's the classic Intercontinental Championship belt. Very nice addition for anyone who doesn't have it. You can catch it on sale. A lot of history with this belt. I also really love that they add on to like all the different people that have rocked it over the years. This has always actually been one of my nicer, I think, touches they've done on these belts. And as we know, with Jey Uso recently winning it, we kind of brought back the blue in the belt, which I thought was a nice touch. But yeah, it's another call out. And then of course we recently had the champions in the back-to-back Stanley Cup. Very recently, I actually saw this on some of the players during their celebration, and I thought it was a very nice touch to the belt. So if you're a hockey fan, if you're a Panthers fan, this is definitely one to add to your collection. Then I kind of went down a little bit of the clearance side of things, and I saw this shirt was on sale. I think you actually had a lot of different sizes as well. But with Charlotte specifically, you also have Jey Uso's as well for $21. So not a bad pickup. If you're a huge fan of them, I think it's worth picking up. Little limited on Jey Uso sizes, but I think with Charlotte you kind of have all the different options available. Nice way to remember Royal Rumble. And then this was another Funko Pop that I thought pretty cool addition to add on to your collection. Love when he comes out with the different style mask. This was such a clean setup for WrestleMania 40. Probably worth picking up. It's not too bad. I mean, $17 normally, on sale for $13, but I think it's a nice one to grab. And then this was another shirt that I thought was nice, a little throwback action. Big fan of Homage with their shirts. They're always nice and soft, very comfortable. But this is a nice little throwback to definitely some nights in the past staying up watching WCW Nitro. And then we have just a couple more. I thought, what a nice way to maybe catch some collectibles as well with Julia now being part of the main roster on the SmackDown side of things. So we have Roxanne But Julia now as well is there. Actually, I think it's Raw. Yeah, I think it's Raw that they just joined. Yeah, Rival on Raw. But I thought this was a really cool photo. It's not signed or anything, but as you know, sometimes we have superstars that will just blow up overnight, and so I think this would be a pretty sick photo to have in the collection. And yeah, I think I already had this. We already kind of talked about that, but yeah, hopefully like the video, like, subscribe, dislike, comment. I'm still trying to figure out what are some different things to highlight each week, as we know we have a lot of new stuff that always drops. I wanted to just take some time to highlight things that I think sometimes people don't go into, all the different links, and there's just so much on this site. A lot of stuff on sale, a lot of new stuff that drops. So I try to catch it after every Monday, after every Friday. I'll share them here as we move along. Really like this Mr. Iguana shirt. Such a cool touch. And yeah, just a little bit of everything, just as we hit different collectibles, different Funkos, different hats, different whatever works. But also just, highlight different superstars each week that we don't always get to see them wear their own shirts. And sometimes I'm always bummed because I think it'd be cool if they actually wore them, and then we know that what's out there. But yeah, otherwise, stay tuned for the next one. Appreciate all the love and support. See you guys in the next one.